Hello, everyone, and welcome to Google Hangout. Today is Monday, January the 19th, and happy Martin Luther King Day. A lot of you were probably off today, and hopefully you were enjoying your day off. Today's topic, well, first of all, my name is Angela Jo Manieri, and I'm coming to you from my office. You can see my Women on the Rise picture behind me, and just wanted to welcome all of you to tonight's call. So the topic tonight is to soar like an eagle. And I wanted to start off with sharing a little story that I found about eagles. So I'm going to go ahead and read this to you. A man found an eagle's egg and put it in a nest of a barnyard hen. The eagle watched with the brood of chicks and grew up with them. It hatched, rather, with the brood of chicks and grew up with them. All his life, the eagle did what the barnyard chicks did, thinking he was a barnyard chicken. He scratched the earth for worms and insects. He clucked and he cackled. And he would thrash his wings and fly a few feet into the air. But nothing happened. He never flew. Years passed and the eagle grew, and he grew very, very old. One day he saw a magnificent bird above him in the cloudless sky. It glided in graceful majesty among the powerful wind currents, with scarcely a beat of its strong golden wings. The old eagle looked up in awe and said, "Who's that?" he asked. "That's the eagle, the king of the birds," said his neighbor, the chicken. "He belongs to the sky, but we as chickens belong to the earth." So the eagle lived and died a chicken, for that's what he thought he was. Well, I find eagles just very, very fascinating, and in just looking at their characteristics and how we can apply that to business as well as to our life, I just thought that would be a neat topic to share tonight. So there's 6 characteristics that I want to talk about the eagle and how that can apply to our businesses and to our life so that we can learn to soar like an eagle. The first positive trait is that eagles have fine vision. If you ever happen to see an eagle sitting on the side of a mountain or a tree or a cliff, you can watch closely and see how attentive the bird is. The body is still, with their head kind of like slightly tilted, and they kind of like look side to side at what is happening below them, above them, and all around them. So their vision is very, very keen. Their eyes are specifically designed for long distance. And I did not know this, but eagles can see up to 50 miles away. That's really pretty amazing. So their focus and their clarity is very, very keen. So if you look at the great leaders of the world, I think that's one characteristic that they all have in common, is that they all have a vision. And think about today. Think about today's day, Martin Luther King. He had a great vision. He had a dream, and he shared that dream and vision with others, and that's why people followed him. So being clear on your vision. So vision is a definite successful leadership characteristic of successful people, as well as of an eagle. So what is your vision? What is your vision for your business? What is your vision for life? Where do you see yourself 1 year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, and 10 years from now? What is your legacy that you're going to be leaving behind? Begin with the end in mind and keeping that vision in front of you at all times, and being clear and having that keen vision is very, very important. Positive trait number 2 is that eagles are fearless. An eagle will never surrender to the size of their prey or the strength of their prey. They will always fight to win to regain their territory. So no matter what the size of the obstacle might be that you're having right now, that you're facing in your life, the fear of, maybe say if you're in sales, being pushy, or the fear of rejection, or the fear of stepping out of your comfort zone, whatever that might be, whatever is standing in your way of soaring like an eagle and not hanging around with the chickens, I want you to take time to recognize it and do it afraid. Face your fear and do it afraid and move through it. Because you have to make the time to devote to making it work, to making that vision, whatever the vision is, to be clear about it and making the time and taking the time to make it work. Successful people are not necessarily fearless, but they do face their fears and they face their problems head on, and then they overcome their fears. So do it afraid and face those fears. The third characteristic or positive trait that eagles have are tenacity. I love that word. It's one of my favorite words, tenacity. Watch an eagle when a storm comes. This is when you can really see that they're tenacious. When other birds fly away from the storm and they just flap their wings, you see the chickens in the chicken coops and they're just, going crazy and cackling and acting crazy. Eagles are very calm. And what do? They soar above the storm and they spread their mighty wings and use the current to bring them to greater heights. And I think that's so important, that once we build and we can get that current going, we can actually use that to soar above and help us rise above the circumstances. The eagle takes advantage of the very storm that lesser birds fear and head for cover. Challenges in life, we're always going to have them, right? There are many, and sometimes we have them more than we even imagined that we could in our life, that we were going to. These are the storms that we must face to rise to greater heights. And it really does make us stronger and makes us soar higher and brings out the character in us. How we handle the storms and the challenges in our life really does show what we're made of. So like an eagle, we can only rise to greater heights if we take up the challenges head on without running away from them. So keep rising above the storms and be tenacious in all things. And it's so true in business, because tenacity is key. It keeps you going when the tough times come our way. So I think that's so important to be tenacious. Okay. The fourth one is eagles are high flyers. Eagles can fly up to 10,000 feet, but they are able to swiftly land on the ground as well. So they can fly high, but then they can land back on solid ground. An eagle doesn't mingle around with the pigeons. Pigeons scavenge on the ground and grumble and complain all day long. Uh-oh. We're not pigeons, are we? We don't want to be pigeons. But eagles are not. They fly and they make less noise and are always looking for opportunities. So to soar like an eagle, we need to be problem solvers. We can't complain like the pigeons do. We need to be aware of the obstacles, and we're always going to have obstacles, but we need to look at them as possible challenges or possible opportunities for something greater. I always like to say that sometimes disappointments are just reappointments for something greater in our life. And when we complain, we really just remain. So when we complain, we remain and we just get stuck in the situation. And we do the same thing over and over again. We're, that's the definition of insanity. So we really need to just change our way of thinking and be more like an eagle in that way as well and fly high. Okay, positive trait number 5. Eagles possess vitality. Vitality is a great word too. Eagles are full of life and visionary, but they have to take the time to look back on their life and re-energize themselves. Oh, do we all need that or what to re-energize ourselves? So how do you do that? Well, there are times in our life that we must pause and take an inventory of what's working in our life and what's not working. And then when we find out what's working and what efforts we're putting into things that we're getting results, then we do more of those things. But if the things that we are doing are not working, we need to evaluate them and say, maybe I need to switch it up and change that around so that I can get positive results. Because really we're doing and doing and doing, and we really need to gauge what our results are by the results themselves, and to make sure that we're headed in the right direction. So being tenacious, but making sure that we're reflecting and taking an inventory on what's working in our life so that we're getting the results that we deserve. And then not only that, but being open to learning and developing new ways to get different and better results. People who do great things are the ones who really open up themselves to learning, to growing, and to being the best that they can be. And always doing a checks and balance of what is working and what's not. So I think that's so important for us professionally as well as personally to always have that checks and balance in place. And the last one, eagles nurture their younger ones. When we look at an eagle, we think to ourselves, oh my goodness, they're such a strong, powerful bird, but they're also one of the most nurturing birds that are out there. Research has shown that no member of the bird family is more gentle and attentive to its young ones than the eagle. And this is how it happens. Basically, when the mother thinks that the eaglet is ready to fly, she'll sweep the eaglet onto her back and spread her wings and fly very, very high. And then suddenly she swoops out from under the eaglet and allows it to fall. A little scary there. But what happens is as it falls, it begins to flap its wings and it learns to fly. Okay, and it might not fly right from the beginning, but she's always there to make sure that if it's going to hit the ground, she's going to swoop underneath and catch it. So that's the way she does it and continuously nurtures the eaglet until it does learn to fly. So we grow our businesses in whatever aspect they are by nurturing one another, by nurturing other people, by nurturing relationships, and by really just building one another and encouraging one another. And relationships plus results is what builds retention. So it's very, very important to keep that nurturing aspect a part of our business and our personal lives as well. So my challenge to you is I'd love for all of you to soar like eagles. Eagles are leaders. They're true leaders. And if you're on this hangout or if you're listening to the recording, then you are a leader because you're investing the time into yourself to build, to grow, and to learn new ideas and to challenge your way of thinking and to be positive. True leaders are not bosses. They grow with their people. They strive to make individuals in the organization or society grow to their full ability. They teach and guide just like the mother eagle does. They never stop giving challenges, but never give up empowering and directing. So I ask you, are you ready to soar like an eagle? Are you ready to rise above the challenges and do whatever it takes in your business to get the results that you deserve? I want you to think about trying your wings and flapping your wings until you can fly and really, really soar high so that you can build that momentum that's going to perpetuate that ability for you to just be able to soar. Because the more you do, the more you flap your wings, the better results you're going to get, and you're going to be able to soar high. So in order to do this, we have to intentionally fill our minds with positivity and feed our souls. And feed our souls with good food, because what we feed grows. Okay. And one thing I learned today about the eagles is that eagles don't eat anything that is dead. Only crows or chickens or buzzards actually eat food that is dead. Eagles will swoop down and go right above the streams and find the salmon or any kind of fish that's alive, and they'll eat it. So I think we can learn from that too, because what we're feeding ourselves, and I'm not just talking about feeding ourselves with good nutritional food, I'm talking about feeding our minds, what we're feeding our minds with, being alive with positivity and nurturing our minds with, and being around and surrounding ourselves with positive food that's going to nourish our souls and make us rise above so that we're better and that we're growing and constantly striving to be better than we were the day before and to soar like an eagle. So I want you to think, to be, and to act like an eagle. I think we all need to do that. And I'm not just telling you what to do. I'm saying it for myself to hear. So we need to be, soar, and act like an eagle so that we can soar to new heights. And I want to challenge you to say to yourself every day some of the characteristics that an eagle has. I am tenacious. I am fearless. I am confident. And I will do whatever it takes to be successful, because I want to rise to the top and soar like an eagle in my business and in my life. So thank you for joining us tonight. I hope this helps you, and I hope that some of the thoughts that you have throughout the day, that if anything comes your way that is a little bit negative, that you can say, oh, I'm not going to complain anymore. I'm not going to be stuck with the chickens. I'm going to soar like an eagle and rise above it and rise to the top. So I will see if there's any questions here before I stop the broadcast. See if we can do this time, or any comments. I don't see any Q&A coming up. So, all right, well, I'm going to go ahead and say goodnight, and thank you again for joining us, and hopefully this helped you and inspired you and will actually motivate you to be tenacious and be fearless and to rise to the top and be like an eagle so that you can soar to new heights. Thanks again for joining me, Angela Jo Manieri, and have a great night. Bye-bye.